What is up, Loudmouth Entertainment, Loudmouth Sports Talk? It's your boy, Loudmouth Luge, back again with another episode of Off the Top Rope. But this episode, we have the submission specialist himself, Spencer Slade, with us. How's it doing?
It's going great, man. I'm really excited to be in your show, and thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Thanks for coming on. So let's start. Let's start it off by high school wrestling. Where did you wrestle?
So
Where did you go to high school?
you're not gonna believe this, but my biggest sport in high school is actually football. Um, did a little amateur wrestling when I was younger, but in high school, my main sports were football, basketball, and baseball. I was like a triple sport athlete. Um, so actually, football was my biggest sport, and I went to high school out in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which is the center of the state for Central Dauphin High School.
Okay.
We were state champions my junior year of high school, and then I went on and played college football. And then after that, I tried out for the CFL. I didn't make it, unfortunately, and then bam, got right into wrestling, which was my dream and my passion since I was 8 years old.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So you debuted about a year and a half ago.
Actually, yeah. So my debut match was, let's see here, would have been about June of 2019. So coming up on close about in June or August will be about 2 years. So yeah, about a year and a half now. Yep.
Awesome, man. Well, for a year and a half, you definitely got it.
I
So
appreciate that.
how did it all start for you?
So you're talking like in ring training, or just wanting to get into wrestling starting out?
Wanting to get into it.
Absolutely, man. So I was hooked from wrestling when I was around 8 or 9 years old. I watched WrestleMania 19, which was in 2003. It was Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship in the Seattle. Um, right then and there, I was hooked, man. I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, they were two guys that just looked like badass athletes. Just two guys that just went in there and was just wrestled. It was believable. And from that point on, that's exactly what I wanted to do with my life.
Wow. Okay. So it was that one match you saw and you just knew.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was a young kid, about 8 or 9 years old, and that's the first time I've ever seen wrestling. And then I kid you not, from 2003 on, I've never missed a Raw, a SmackDown, or pay per view since. I've watched wrestling religiously since
Awesome.
then. And
That's
then and
amazing.
then from that point around 2003, I started discovering like independent wrestling around 2004, 2005. I discovered IWC in like the mid 2000s, and then I started watching like TNA and Ring of Honor in the early 2000s as well. So and Japanese stuff too. So my life was consumed with pro wrestling when I was about 8, 9 years old.
That's amazing. I love to hear that.
Yeah,
So who did you look up to when it comes to wrestling?
man, I'm gonna have to say, starting out, obviously was Kurt Angle. He was my all time favorite wrestler. He was just to me the definition of wrestling. Pro wrestling, wrestling, whatever you want to call this. Wrestling treated real like a sport, submissions, grappling. That's what it was. And then from there on, and then about the mid 2000s towards maybe, 2007, 2008, I was a huge Randy Orton fan, man. I idolized Randy Orton as a kid, man. I can remember in high school, I had every single one of Randy Orton's T-shirts from like 2006 on. And I would idolize him so much to the point where when I was in middle school, I would walk down the hallways like Randy Orton walked to the ring because I was so, dude. I loved Randy Orton, man. He like it's man. Like I said, wrestling was my life, and I looked at those wrestlers. Those are my superheroes. Those are the people that I wanted to be like. I started lifting weights not just for football, but because I wanted to look like the wrestlers. So yeah, man, it's life.
All right. So what did people think when you wanted to get into wrestling?
Obviously, a lot of people would laugh at it. I think any time that a young kid tells somebody that they want to do something that's outside of what you're supposed to do in life, people will tell you, oh yeah, it'll work out, and then eventually down the line, people tell you, oh, well, why don't you think about doing something else? Um, People, because obviously I was born deaf, I wear my two hearing aids, and I wasn't a big kid. You know, I'm a big guy now, but back when I was younger, man, I was that little skinny kid who got picked on all the time. So when people said that when I told people that I wanted to be a wrestler, you know, obviously they would, you know, laugh and make fun. But I tell you what, man, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because, man, it lit a spark in my ass to be the absolute best that I can be. So,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
I
glad I
bet
had haters, man. I'm so glad I had haters because it means so much more when you do well.
it does. It does. So let's go back to last Saturday. Your match with Cole. Amazing match, by the way. You two put on a show for us. You did make him, catch some Z's. He did go to bed.
Yep,
So Cole did get slayed.
I
So
like the way you said that.
we see Cody.
That's my man right there. He's just he's got another great podcast too. He's a great
Oh,
dude as well. So
definitely. Amazing
he's really
guy. And we watched an amazing match between you two. You guys, between grappling, you guys showed us wrestling. That was the most important part, and I liked it. But the question I have for you is, where were you at the end of the show? Cole came out. Where were you?
you know Spencer Slade. He's a I'm the kind of guy that keeps to myself. I'm not really a guy that likes to I don't want to say not engage with others, but in my mind, I know where I want to go, and it's definitely not being an IWC for as long as I need to be there. But I always, yeah, you know me, man. I left the building because I got the job done. I hey man, I come to the Courthouse Sports Center, I make people tap out, and then I go home. It's just that's all I do,
That's
right?
simple. It's
But yeah,
that simple.
I'm glad that you guys enjoyed that match because one thing about me is, I don't care where I'm at, man. I try to steal the show. That's just I call myself a show stealer for a reason because I'm going out there to steal the show. You can bring in these indie names. You can have another main event, or you can think who you want to steal the show. But at the end of the day, you know what Spencer Slade is going to do. He's going to steal the show. So, and I think that's exactly what we did on Saturday because, Wardlow said we killed it. So, if Wardlow thought that was and that Britt Baker, she sent me a message on Instagram like the day after saying, "Hey, great match." So, I think Cole and I, we're both real young guys in the business, but and we both want to get signed soon as quickly as possible. So we both had this like competitive drive and desire to want to be the best. And what you saw on Saturday was exactly what you're going to get from Spencer Slade, a guy that's going to treat wrestling the way it should be, like a sport, real. So that's me, man. I love nothing more than jabbing people in the face and making them tap out. That's it. That's just what I like to do.
Hey, I loved watching it. So speaking of that match, so that match got you guys a lot of light put on you guys, and you are going to be eventually on AEW Dark.
Absolutely,
Now, how
absolutely.
does that feel when you heard that? What? How did you feel inside? I mean, like I know you probably were like,
So I'm glad you asked this question because this is where I talk about. I call it the Slade mentality. This is where I'm going to be really honest with you. I was very happy that it happened. At the same time, it wasn't surprising to me because I always knew that I'd get these opportunities because I know how much hard work I put into pro wrestling, and I know how good I am, and I know that I'm the most confident guy out there. So that happened, it was like, you know what? That's another thing that I spoke into existence, and I could check that off the box. But I felt great, for Wardlow to go out there and say that, it to me it confirms that I know that I'm doing something right.
yeah,
So
oh, most definitely.
trust me, you guys, man, you guys will be in for a ride in AEW Dark. I'm going down there to get myself a job one way or another. I think that I bring something to the table that you don't see in AEW. I can't. I'm trying to think of anybody on the AEW roster that does a lot of submissions or a lot of brawling. I can't. maybe Jake Hager, is he the only guy that has like a submission background, or I can't really think of anybody else on AEW.
Jake Hager, and that's, I mean, yeah. I really
Most of
can't
the
think of another name
most
that
of the other guys,
wrestles.
yeah, most of the other guys in AEW, they're big into like the flip stuff and the super duper
Mhm.
acrobatic stuff. Whereas I know the style that works for me, and that's exactly what I intend on bringing down to AEW Dark.
Awesome. So, speaking of AW Dark, is there anybody that you might see on TV and you're like, him? I would like him.
Absolutely. So you know me, every Wednesday night I watch NXT and AEW. Man, I flip through the channel like this because to me, those guys on AEW and NXT, man, they're competition. They're the guys I'm looking up to. Like, okay, that's who I want to wrestle. That's who I want to wrestle. So, yeah, I mean, Eddie Kingston's a great one too. I like Eddie Kingston. I don't know how much he does in ring. That might be a little back and forth brawl. But honestly, man, I'd like to go in there and I would probably put Cody Rhodes at number one, man. That's definitely the guy that I'd want to have a match with so bad. And then obviously after that, I mean, you can't tell me you can't do two IWC meatheads, man. Me and Wardlow. I'd love to have that opportunity. You know,
I would
uh,
love to see that on a AEW stage.
yeah, in AEW, I look at it as believe what match could I have with somebody down there that would be believable and wouldn't be a style clash? Because sometimes when guys have style clashes, the matches don't really end up being as good as they could be. There's another
Mhm.
guy I'd love to wrestle be a Hangman Adam Page. I'd love to wrestle Hangman Adam Page.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. MJF, what about him?
MJF, I mean that's a great one too. He's a great heel. Now if I'm a heel too, I kind of look at it as who their top good guys. Like for example, Jungle Boy. I mean that'd be another guy I'd like to wrestle.
That would be a nice one.
Man, never say never. I mean there could come a point where the Pinnacle they're looking for a shooter or they're looking for like a hitman or somebody and Spencer Slade happens to be down there, so you never know, man.
You never know. Two IWC boys on the same group. That would be amazing to see.
That's one thing too, man. I think what you're gonna find here now, starting from now till forever. I think IWC is gonna be the NXT for all the bigger companies. I really believe that. Um, with the amount of, you went to an IWC show. With the amount of talent that IWC has, man, I would put us as the best independent wrestling company out there, besides the big main companies. I
You
think
guys are
IWC
amazing.
has the next guys that are getting ready to get signed. That's just my opinion. You got a lot of
Oh,
talent
I
out there.
definitely agree. Every one of you have your own talent.
You have Britt Baker, who's probably but one of the best women's wrestlers there, and you got Wardlow, same thing, both of them IWC. So yeah,
Who the
I
best?
if you're an independent wrestling man, IWC, in my opinion, is a place where you want to be.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So, where, speaking of wrestling, where all have you wrestled? You wrestled in IWC. You started in IWC. Where
Yes,
have you been?
so I have started in IWC. That's where I made my debut. That's where I was trained by, and then from there, I went and wrestled for a promotion called Imagine Wrestling in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where I won the heavyweight championship when I was 6 months in wrestling. And Big Bill Collier, big time Bill Collier, beat me for the title. So I'm very, very humbled and proud to say that Big Bill got me, beat me because he's so damn good too. And then I wrestled for OVW down in Louisville, Kentucky.
Nice.
OVW it used to be the developmental territory for the WWE. Now it's just its own promotion. And then I also went and wrestled for they have a they have like their southern promotion called Rocket City Championship Wrestling in Hazel Green, Alabama. And I went down there and won their separate Southern Heavyweight Championships. So that's kind of where I'm wrestling at right now.
Okay, nice. So, is WWE the goal? Is that the goal?
Absolutely, man. I'm going to be honest with you. WWE is the ultimate goal, especially NXT, because like I said, man, I'm so I'm so thankful for AEW, this AEW opportunity. I love AEW. If the if the people there at AEW think that I can benefit their roster and be of value to their program, then I'm all in on AEW. But the little 8-year-old kid that's inside of me, man, WWE, man, it's been what I've watched since I was 8 years old.
Hmm.
There's nothing else I love more than wrestling, and it's always been the WWE. So WWE NXT, man, that's the goal. Like I said, if AEW decides they want to make the best business decision they've ever made and sign Spencer Slade, then I'm all in. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Awesome. So is there obviously NXT? Is there anyone you want in a match? Because I know I'd like to see you versus Adam Cole. That would be for me a nice match.
I'd love that too, man. That'd be awesome for a young guy like me because I might not look like I'm young in the ring, but in terms of experience, I'm very young. I haven't been wrestling long, so for me to wrestle a guy like Adam Cole who's been around the block forever, I mean you're talking about that's just awesome. Honestly, man, my dream match, and it's my bucket list match is I would love to wrestle Karrion Kross.
Oh,
I look
that
at
would,
Karrion Kross as like a version of myself. What he brings, him and I are really kind of similar, man. It's he's on NXT, so obviously he has bigger eyes, more eyes on him. But I like to think that I have the Karrion Kross thing on NXT. Yeah, that's a guy. We'll get into Dolph Ziggler because you're going to ask me about my top wrestler, so I'll talk about him then. Um, Definitely Finn Balor. That's another guy too. I would love to have a technical wrestling match with Finn Balor.
oh, that would be
He's killing it right
amazing.
now, man. He's killing it right now.
Oh yeah. Speaking of wanting anybody or checking anybody off the list, is there anybody in IWC you still got to check off that list? Is there anyone you want
Yeah,
besides the champion?
yeah. Obviously, like I said, my whole goal was to get it signed as quickly as possible. Um, but in terms of guys that are left in IWC, there's about besides the heavyweight champion Andrew Palace because he has a title, but there's two guys that I still want to wrestle so bad. That's obviously big time Bill Collier for the Super Indie title, and then I want to wrestle so bad and hope it happens. I want to wrestle Josh Alexander because him and I are the only guys in wrestling that have headgear. What better way to have battle of the headgear? Two badass wrestlers going at it. So that's a match.
That would be nice. That would be
I
nice.
feel like it's inevitable, man. It has to happen. Him and I were, we happen to be in the same company. He has headgear. I have headgear. Like, come on, man. We both wrestle the same way. But
Cody
yeah,
says bulk.
okay, Balk Nasty. What am I going to think about Balk Nasty? See, I mean, if that opportunity presents itself, that would be cool to wrestle Balk Nasty. I'm looking at that as more of like a style, like a style clash because you know, Balk's a Balk's a big dude. It's I don't know, but like I said, if Balk keeps running his mouth, then it's like I said, it's another match that could happen.
Oh,
But
but
hey, man, you
headgear on a pole match. I mean, hey, it could happen. Winner gets the
oh,
headgear.
that's that's a funny one, man. That's a good one there. I like that, Cody. But yeah, going back to Balk Nasty, like I said, it's what all I can control is what myself. I can't control what the management of IWC has in terms of matches. But like I said, that's Plummer and whomever decides who wrestles who. You know, that's their call. They just know that whomever they put me in the ring with, we're gonna steal the damn show. Plain and simple.
I believe that. So, your top five wrestlers.
Top five, yes.
So,
My
if we
top
had to
five.
go in actual order, what would they
Okay.
be?
Absolute. Okay. I'll put them in. You know what? I'll put them in an order for you. How's that?
All right.
And these top five guys are all guys that A I look up to, and B who I take little bits and pieces from because they all have my style. Um, when I say they're my favorite wrestlers, they're the guys who I would try to wrestle if I were in their boots, or whom I'm trying to wrestle as a dream match. It would never happen. Number one on the list, obviously, I gotta put Randy Orton. That's my number one favorite wrestler. Number two is Kurt Angle for obvious reasons. And then this is a third one. You might know why I'm putting him at number three. Number three would be Samoa Joe. I love the jabs he does. I like the submissions. Those are two things I take from him. Samoa Joe's three. Obviously, number four, the Zig Man, Dolph Ziggler. Wrestling, he submission holds, just Dolph, man, to me, it's wrestling. When I think of Dolph Ziggler, I think of wrestling. And then number five, actually going to surprise you a little bit, but Mr. Perfect.
Okay.
He was an athlete. He was such a great heel, man. He made
Amazing.
you want to see him get his ass kicked. So those are my top five guys there.
Okay. Nice top five.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'd want matches. Would any of them? Would there be any specific matches that would be a submission match like you had Saturday? You versus Dolph submission.
Absolutely. A submission match. I would love to have a submission match against Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe. Those are the two guys I'd love to have a submission match with. Unfortunately, I was born a couple years too late. But if I could go back, that would be the match there, because Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, most of their matches they wrestled, they won by submission anyways. So, and that's what I intend on doing. People like pro wrestling, but man, what can I bring to wrestling? That makes me different? I like to bring that submissions, that realness to it. Strikes, stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, let's all be honest here, man. The UFC is the best pro wrestling promotion in the world because they sell you on a fight and you buy the tickets to see what's going to happen. So why can't I do that in a pro wrestling ring or a pro wrestling match? So I really think pro wrestling has a bright future when they have guys like me in it, because we know how believable we can push it. So Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, man, submission match. Oh, you got me right there.
Oh, that would be amazing. Did you ever get to meet any of those people that you mentioned?
I actually, no, I've never had the opportunity to meet any of those guys yet. Nope. I'm hoping,
Have you met any like legends?
you know what? Oh, screw it. Never mind. I actually met Dolph Ziggler before. How crazy is that? So, this was back when I was a fan. I went to WrestleMania 33 that was in Orlando. And I went to WrestleMania Access, and I met Dolph Ziggler. That was a couple years before, obviously, I got into wrestling. But Dolph Ziggler is one of the guys that I met.
That's awesome. So, since you've been in wrestling, have you met any like legends that maybe gave you some tips or some pointers?
Let me think here real quick. I've kind of just met like a legend handshake wise. Hey, how you doing? That's it. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to really have any legends, and I had just started wrestling, so most of the legends haven't got to see me wrestle live in person.
Yeah.
But if you kind of get what I'm saying, I mean, I met Sting. He was at the Night of the Superstars in 2019, I think, 2019, and then MVP was there as well.
That's awesome.
But that's it, man. That's it. I'm confident with NXT or AEW, whichever opportunity comes first. I'm confident that I'll be able to start meeting some more people.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
So, most definitely. I can't wait to see you on AEW Dark. Cannot. And honestly, I would not be mad at all if we got a run back of Spencer Slade versus Cole at AEW Dark. I would not be mad.
I hear you, man. If there's anybody out there that didn't miss that match, all you have to do is just go on YouTube and type in Spencer Slade. You guys can watch the entire match for free on YouTube.
So, we went through your top 5 wrestlers.
Yep.
Now, we need your top 5 matches.
Awesome, man. That's I'm glad you asked that, because that's actually a question that doesn't get often. Most people don't always ask your top 5 wrestlers, but most people never ask your top 5 matches, and that's a good one. My number one all-time favorite match has got to be Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero from WrestleMania 20 in Madison Square Garden.
That's good.
They start out with wrestling, and it ended with Kurt going for the ankle lock, and he ripped off Eddie's boot, and Eddie hooked him for a small package, 1, 2, 3. That's my first favorite match.
Amazing. Love that match.
Dude, oh my God. And then number 2, once again, it's got to be WrestleMania 21, Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels, where Kurt Angle made Shawn tap out with the ankle lock. Yeah, that's number 2. And then I would say for number 3, I would have to, let me think here. It was Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles from TNA. I think it was like one of their Unbreakable pay-per-views in 05.
Okay.
I think that was a hot year TNA when Joe and Styles and Daniels were there.
That was the pinnacle of it.
That's
TNA.
number 3 right there. Number 4 is actually a pretty recent match. I loved Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam 2018. I don't know if you remember that match. They opened the show and stole the show the same night.
Oh yeah.
That was oh man, that was such a great match. And then let me think here for number 5. Number 5. I would have to say probably would be I love the Randy Orton versus Triple H match from WrestleMania 25. Just the whole build to the match where Orton took out the McMahon family and that whole storyline. I mean, that was so believable, man. I really believed everything that was going on. I loved the storyline built up to that.
And it was true. That was like a good storyline built up to a match. So good.
Yeah, when he kicked Mr. McMahon in the skull, and then he did to Shane, and then he RKO'd Stephanie, then kissed Stephanie right in front of Triple H. I mean, dude, oh man.
It was truly amazing. It was such a great storyline.
Awesome.
So, you've only been wrestling for about a year and a half, but you had a good few matches under your belt.
Absolutely, yes, I have, yes.
What would you say is your top 3 matches that you've been in?
Top 3 matches, I gotta put this past match as number 1 with Cole. I gotta put that as my number 1 submission match just because that's obviously the most recent. That's the most recent match of Spencer Slade. My top second match is a match that unfortunately is not on YouTube right now. Is myself versus Big Bill Collier for the Imagine Heavyweight Championship from this past summer. Big Bill and I, we tore the house down in a 20-minute match. He beat me, and that's why I'm hoping that the IWC will let us wrestle each other so people in IWC can see what we did almost a year back last summer. And obviously, number 3 is a match I had against Brian Pillman Jr. when I wrestled him for the Super Indy title back in November 7th at IWC Homecoming. So those are my top 3 matches.
Nice. And I actually watched that one, and that was such a good match between you and Pillman. Because I just started coming to IWC about...
Yeah, okay.
I think it was the Homecoming show I started coming.
Okay.
So ever since then, IWC has me hooked, and I've been there ever since. Every one after that I've been, and now I'm VIP. I won't. It's amazing. What you guys do is truly amazing. You guys are true wrestling, and it's great to watch every month.
And I appreciate that so much because I see, unfortunately, I don't want to talk bad about, the other major wrestling companies, but sometimes you see some of the wrestling they have on there, the stuff they do, and it's just kind of goofy or silly, or it's just not fun or enjoyable to watch. But if I can show you what I do and show off my style, and I can get a fan like you to like it, man, then that's to me that's awesome,
Cody, what you talking about, brother? Wasn't that at the Homecoming show?
Yeah, that was me and Pillman, and I wrestled Pillman for the
yeah.
And I had him beat twice. That ref counted 3 twice in that match. I told IWC management, you better call that the Elizabeth PA screw job, man. I got screwed out of that Super Indy title, which leads me to Big Time Bill Collier because he's got something on his shoulder that I want. So you never know.
It all comes back around.
You never know where the dices go. You know.
That would be an awesome match, maybe at the drive-in or the Wild Things. That would be a nice match to see.
I'm hoping it's the Wild Things because I think we're gonna do a show every month. I think at the ballpark this summer. Those shows are so much fun, man. I can't wait for you to come out and see them. It's so cool to put a wrestling ring in a baseball field. It gives that big show, that big fight feel to it.
Oh, I cannot wait. This is my first, I guess, one outside matches I'm gonna go see for IWC. So definitely cannot wait.
Drive-in for you, man. The drive-in is going to be fun, man. That's a pretty cool atmosphere. You get to pull your car into the ring. We set the ring up right in the middle of the drive-in. It's a pretty badass looking thing.
Oh, I cannot wait. I hope you're on the card some way. We get a Spencer Slade match or even an appearance.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not really sure. What I've seen from the promotional poster. I've seen that they're going to do like a big. I think they're going to do like a big tag team match. I think where there's going to be like teams of 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a Survivor Series. We'll see what happens. That's not really my style. I'm not the kind of person that likes to associate with anybody else on the roster. I'm kind of myself. I don't know how Spencer Slade would do it with tag team with other people, but if it does happen, you never know, man. I might grab my trophy that I have and I might go out in the middle of the ring and issue an open challenge for the Pittsburgh Pro Wrestling Classic. You never know. I'll walk to the ring and I'll put this trophy down and say, which one of you guys in the back want to come out here and take it? So, never know. You just got to stay tuned.
Oh, man, and I'm definitely going to be stay tuned. But, my man, it was great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, man. I'd love to come back on your show maybe in a couple months from now when I have some more stuff to talk about. And you never know, man. I could the next time I return to your show, I could be an NXT superstar or an AEW superstar. You don't know.
Oh, man, I would absolutely love that. We will definitely have you back on.
Well, hey, man,
definitely.
I appreciate you for having me on, and then I will look forward to seeing you at the drive-in show on the 24th then.
Oh, definitely, man. I'll definitely be there, front and center.
I love it, Cody. I'll see you out there, man. I love it.
All right, my man. You have a good day.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
You take care. All right, that was Spencer Slade, IWC, man, and thank you very much, my man, for coming on the show. You were amazing. So you know what? That's a great way to end the show, man. So it's your boy Loudmouth Luge. Oh, wait, before we end the show, because I forgot to do this before we started. Sorry, guys. But thank you, Sean. Forgot to do this, but as always, bombshellbowling.com/loudmouth sports talk for all of your loudmouth apparel. But as always, next Thursday we'll be back with another episode of Off the Top Rope. It's your boy Loudmouth Lucha. Until then, peace.